Was this Spark or Volt Tackle? Yo, what's up everyone? Drayman1 here. We're back with another Pocket Monsters anime review. Today we're covering episode 11, and I gotta say this was a pretty interesting episode because it actually focused on Koharu, and I was wondering, will Koharu begin to start traveling with Ash and go throughout the series since she's seen in the opening with them and stuff like that? And I think we got our answer in today's episode. So let's go ahead and get into the summary and thoughts. For one, I'm completely shocked that Sakuragi and Koharu actually don't live in the lab, but as we see, they have their own house, and Koharu has a brother, and, the mom is there as well. So it's pretty interesting to see Sakuragi as a whole family. Like, it really shows that, Sakuragi's just, going to work and going home, which means Ash and Go are living on their own in that lab, and they can do whatever the heck they want. Oh, my goodness. But I guess that really, backs up why Mr. Mime is staying there as well, because, Ash and Go there by themselves. They're going to need somebody to take care of them, and that's why Mr. Mime is there. So it makes a lot of sense why Mr. Mime actually stayed at Sakuragi's lab now. But yeah, the episode basically begins with Koharu waking up in the morning to get ready for school. Yamper is there waking her up. You see Yamper eager to see Koharu. You can really tell Yamper really likes Koharu a lot. Sakuragi looks at this picture. This is a nice picture of, I guess it's an illustration of both Koharu and Yamper that his wife had did. And it was a really nice scene. The slice of life in this moment was pretty nice, but I kind of wish Ash and Go were there with them, but I understand, it's kind of different from Kukui's case where Ash was living with Kukui. Here, Ash and Go are living with Sakuragi, but not, in his house. Sakuragi goes back home and things like that. But yeah, everyone is mentioning that Yamper really likes Koharu the most out of everyone in the family. And, at the beginning of the series, I thought Koharu actually owned the Yamper, but it isn't the case. It's just the family's dog. So it's kind of like, I guess you could say how Rockruff was living with Ash and the others before Ash caught it. That's what Yamper is to, Sakuragi's family. And I believe Koharu may actually catch Yamper in the future after what happened in this episode. Our first scene of Ash and Go, I gotta say, I really like this well because Ash and Go are, greeting the Pokemon. Yeah, Go may not be making the connections with his Pokemon like, how Ash does with his. But I do love that, they're showing them off still. Like, for one, Go coming to wish everyone a good morning was a really nice thing. And it appears even Dragonite is staying in the Sakuragi Park as well. So that's pretty interesting to see that both Ash and Go's new Pokemon will be here. Now, I do wonder if, if Ash brings back Pokemon from Oak's Lab, will they go back to Oak's Lab or will they just stay here? That's a good question that I believe we will find the answer to sooner or later. But as mentioned in episode 7, Talos eat Wurmples. So we see the Talos attacking the 3 Wurmples, about to give him a nice little dinner until they begin to evolve. And now, I remember when he first caught the 3 Wurmples, I was wondering, is he going to keep one a Wurmple, then evolve 2, and, likewise like that? Is he going to keep it like a living Dex? Or is he going to evolve all 3? And we get to see that all 3 evolve, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this is going to be interesting. Like, will he get both forms or not? And actually, all 3 of the Wurmples evolve into Cascoon, which is so hilarious because it's so realistic. Like, if Go actually got both of the Wurmple evolutions, I'd be like, okay, now that's kind of too easy. But I like how they gave him 3 of the same ones. That was pretty interesting in my opinion. And even though he's devastated by this, the Wurmples, or should I say the Cascoons, go and show him some love. And, he's still happy at the end of the day. So I wonder if this is me. Will he end up getting Beautyfly, or will he just stick with Dustox, 3 Dustox, or maybe one evolves to Dustox and the other 2 stay Cascoon? But then we get to the plot of this episode, and it's the wild Gengar that is causing trouble in the Sakuragi lab. And I'm just sitting there wondering, how did this thing get in here? And what is it doing here? But yeah, this Gengar is freaking vicious. Like, we saw Gengar in the second episode of this series, and it did not look nothing like how this Gengar is. Like, this Gengar has something going on with it. And I find it interesting that, in Sun and Moon, we had Greedy Rapus causing trouble, and now in this series, we have this Gengar. I wonder if this Gengar is going to be recurring like Acerolas Gengar was as well. Sakuragi and Koharu end up getting into the lab, and Ash ends up asking Go, does Koharu like Pokemon? And Go's like, she wasn't always like how she is now, but she kind of just changed, which is interesting because I remember in the first episode of Pocket Monsters when we got to see both young Go and young Koharu, Koharu seemed enthusiastic to see Pokemon. She knew a lot of information. Go knew a lot of information, and she just seemed like she was enjoying the Pokemon camp. So I wonder, Are we gonna see what made her change, or did she just grow out of Pokemon over time? But yeah, for the majority of this episode, it's Ash and Go trying to fight off this Gengar. And Pikachu actually does do some good damage to it, but it seems to be a really powerful Gengar, and it keeps coming back, causing more and more trouble. And then we get to see Koharu at school, and this is where we get some interesting plot here, because, the teacher's asking, all right, everyone, what do you want to do when you grow up? And Koharu's sitting there like, she doesn't know. Each and every one of her classmates are assuming, oh yeah, you're going to become a Pokemon professor like your dad, since your dad's a Pokemon professor. You must know a lot about Pokemon. You must really like Pokemon. But Koharu's like, no, I don't think I want to do that. Like, she doesn't know what she wants to do. And she doesn't like that everyone's assuming she automatically likes Pokemon just because her father is the professor. And her mom actually ends up showing up at the school, bringing her lunch because she forgot it. And they actually have a nice and interesting conversation. Koharu's mom was going to give up on being an artist because she used to draw comic books, which is super cool because I draw comics as well. I may show them to y'all one day in the future, but yeah, this was just really cool seeing this. And, she was about to give up on her dreams until Sakuragi actually was like, I really like seeing your comics. Please keep going. Don't give up on your dream. And if it wasn't for Sakuragi's moments and motivation in that moment, she probably would have gave up on her dream. But, considering the fact that there were others that were, inspired by her, she decided herself that she wanted to continue and fully became an illustrator, which I believe that was her illustration that we saw of Koharu and Yamper in the beginning of this episode. But all this talk about, Koharu not knowing what she wants to do, she's in school while Ash and Go are going on adventures. I really do feel like this will lead to Koharu sooner or later joining Ash and Go in these adventures where, in this episode she grows a bigger bond with Yamper. Who knows, maybe later on she'll grow a bond with more Pokemon. Maybe that Gengar returns and, she actually connects with it or sees, there was an issue with it and, helps it out maybe. Like, I can easily see Koharu slowly growing to be more like Ash and Go and, has that inspiration for Pokemon again. And also, another thing I forgot to mention is Go said something really interesting as well in this episode. And it was back to when Ash was like, does Koharu like Pokemon? Go was like, well, maybe she does like him, but she just likes them differently. Because if you think about it, me and you are really different. And that is true. As we saw in episode 10, Ash makes bonds with his Pokemon and then, sees, the Pokemon wants to join him and he'll catch it. While Go is kind of out here just going, catch, throw. Even with this Gengar, he just throws a whole bunch of Pokeballs. So I like how they actually pointing out the contrast between Ash and Go, where Ash is, the one who wants to battle and, make the bonds with his Pokemon, and Go is trying to, complete the decks. And we get to see Mr. Mime once again. Now, I gotta say, I love the freaking Detective Pikachu references they're making with Mr. Mime and him making those faces. Like, I think Mr. Mime has really grown to be, one of my favorite Pokemon now. Like, I remember I did not like this thing at all before Detective Pikachu. Detective Pikachu made it quite funny. And then this series is just making it so much more enjoyable. So I'm liking what they're doing with Mr. Mime in the series. But yeah, I gotta say, the fights between Gengar were pretty cool as well. Pikachu was going all in. And Scorbunny, I don't know why Scorbunny really didn't do too much. But I guess it's because, double kick. You can't really use double kick on a Gengar and stuff like that. But yeah, basically Pikachu was going in full power against this Gengar. Gengar actually ends up ice punching Yamper by mistake. Was trying to hit Pikachu. And I gotta say, this scene shocked me seeing Yamper freeze like that. I was like, whoa. But Pikachu's moves kept scaring Gengar away, which once Koharu came back, that's when Gengar decided to attack her instead. And I gotta say, Yamper jumping out to protect Koharu really shows just how much Yamper cares for her. And I really do hope that she catches this Pokemon and they grow a bond together and start traveling together. Because, seeing how Yamper was determined to help Koharu really shows how much it cares for her. And everything's set up in this episode so perfectly for Koharu to finally command Yamper to use an attack. Because her classmates like, hey, let's battle. But she's like, I've never battled before and stuff. Or I'm going to have a Pokemon and things like that. So seeing that she actually battled in this episode for the first time and, grew a bond with a Pokemon does lead me to believe she will start traveling with Ash and Go in the future. Which Sakuragi actually ends up trying to command Yamper at first to use Spark, but Yamper can't hear it because, Yamper's so focused on protecting Koharu from this Gengar. But Koharu gains the courage and uses Spark, and I gotta say, Spark freaking looked like a Volt Tackle Wild Charge freaking Giga Impact. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, this was the most powerful Spark attack I've ever seen. Spark does not do this much damage in the games. It's so crazy how powerful it looked in this scene. But the spark attack takes out Gengar, and yeah, basically everyone's safe. And seeing how happy Koharu was with Yamper about, everything that just went down really does have me to believe she will begin traveling with Ash and Go sooner or later. Now, how will she transition into this? I really don't know. Maybe it could be, during the time where maybe Team Rocket's attacking and, Ash and Go are stuck, they can't use their Pokemon, and then Koharu has to use her Yamper again. Maybe it takes Yamper to evolve in order for that to happen. Many things could happen that lead Koharu to become a traveler. And the episode ends with Ash and Go saying, next time we see that Gengar, let's catch it. And Gengar is actually sitting on top of the lab. So this leads me to believe that Gengar may actually appear again in the series. But I don't think Ash or Go will catch it, but instead Koharu will, because it will be like the ultimate moment for her character. Like, full turnaround where she was, she didn't really want to fight it, and then, grew the courage to end up using Spark to where she ends up catching it and helping it. Because maybe there's something wrong with this Gengar. Maybe this Gengar was attacking for a reason. I really don't know, but I think this was a pretty interesting episode. It's not one of the best, but it was a good episode. And this episode really gave Koharu the justice she needs, because a lot of people view her as like, she's one of the main characters as well, but she had little to no appearances. She was always kind of a jerk every time she appeared. So seeing in this episode, I really do hope that this leads to more Koharu development throughout the series and leads her to traveling with Ash and Go, because she's a pretty interesting character as well. And, the whole not knowing your goal, or everyone saying you should do this, that's a pretty interesting topic as well. It's kind of sort of similar to Serena, where, Serena's mom was trying to get her to be a ride-home racer, but that wasn't what she wanted to do. Then she had to figure out what she wanted to do, and then the Tri-Pokemons ended up happening. But maybe here with Koharu's like, maybe she doesn't want to become a Pokemon professor, or maybe she grows to liking Pokemon to want to become a Pokemon professor. I can see either of those happening. But yeah, everyone, in the comment section down below, let me know what you all thought of this episode. I would love to hear. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Trayman1. Peace out.